I still remember the look on the little boy's face. His eyes were wide, scared, and shining with tears as the noise of them all swallowed his tiny voice. People rushed past him like he was invisible. And in that moment, one simple act of kindness was about to change many lives forever. That night would end with a powerful CEO standing in public, admitting his mistake and apologizing with a trembling voice. But it all began with a single dad, a lost child, and a choice to care when it would have been easier to walk away. Before we begin, if stories like this touch your heart and remind you that kindness still matters, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. Your support helps our channel, Kindness World, continue sharing stories that inspire hope and humanity. Mark Wilson was a single father who lived a simple life. He worked long hours as a delivery driver, doing his best to provide for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Life had not been kind to Mark. After his wife passed away from illness, the world felt heavier on his shoulders. Every dollar mattered. Every minute mattered. Yet despite the struggles, Mark had a habit that never faded. He noticed people. That evening, Mark had taken Lily to the mall as a small reward for her good grades. They shared a pretzel, laughed at silly window displays, and for a moment, life felt normal. Lily went into a nearby store with her friend's mom, leaving Mark waiting on a bench near the food court. That's when he saw the boy. The child couldn't have been older than 5. He stood near a large pillar, clutching a small toy car, his lips shaking as he tried not to cry. Mark watched as several adults passed by, some glancing down briefly, others completely ignoring him. Mark stood up without thinking. He knelt in front of the boy and spoke gently. "Hey, buddy, are you lost?" The boy nodded, tears finally spilling over. He said his name was Ethan. He had been holding his dad's hand, and then suddenly, the hand was gone. Mark felt his chest tighten. He knew that fear. He had seen it in Lily's eyes before. "It's okay," Mark said softly. "I'm a dad too. Let's wait right here and find your family." Mark guided Ethan to the bench and stayed close. He bought him a small juice, even though it meant skipping dinner later. He told Ethan stories about superheroes who were brave even when they were scared. Slowly, the boy's breathing calmed. Security arrived, asking questions in a sharp, rushed tone. One guard eyed Mark suspiciously, asking if the child was really with him. Mark didn't argue. He understood. He just said, "I'm waiting with him until his family comes." Minutes felt like hours. Across the mall, a man in an expensive suit was shouting into his phone. Richard Hale, the CEO of a major tech company, was furious. He had lost his son. Meetings, calls, and ego had distracted him for just a moment, and that moment was enough. When Richard finally reached the security desk and saw Ethan sitting beside Mark, laughing quietly at a silly face Mark made, something unexpected happened. Relief flooded him, followed by shame. Richard rushed forward, grabbing Ethan and holding him tightly. He thanked the guards quickly, then turned to Mark. His eyes flicked over Mark's worn jacket and tired face. He nodded once, stiff and distracted. "Thanks," Richard said flatly. Then he turned to leave. Mark stood there, feeling small. He didn't expect praise, but the coldness stung. Lily returned just in time to see her dad's shoulders slump. Later that night, Mark's phone buzzed. An unknown number. "This is Richard Hale," the voice said. "We need to talk." Mark almost hung up, thinking it was a prank. But something told him to listen. Richard asked to meet at the small community event the next evening. Mark nearly said number. He was tired. But Lily squeezed his hand and said, "Dad, you helped that boy. Maybe this is something good." The next night, Mark stood at the back of a modest hall filled with families and local workers. Richard walked onto the stage. The room quieted. Richard took a deep breath. "Yesterday, my son was lost, and while I panicked, a stranger stayed calm. He showed my child kindness when I failed to pay attention." People murmured. "I want to apologize," Richard continued, his voice cracking. "Not just privately, but publicly. Because kindness should be honored, not dismissed." Richard stepped down from the stage and walked toward Mark. Every eye followed. "I judged you," Richard said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "I was rude, and I was wrong. You didn't have to help my son, but you did. And that says more about you than any title says about me." Mark felt his throat tighten. He didn't know what to say. Richard then announced a new initiative supporting single parents and community workers. He offered Mark a role not as charity, but as partnership at helping guide the program with real-life experience. Mark didn't see dollar signs. He saw respect. That night, as Mark and Lily walked home under the streetlights, Lily looked up at him and smiled. "Dad," she said, "you didn't just help a kid, you changed a grown-up too." Mark realized something powerful. Kindness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it sits quietly on a bench, holding space for someone in fear. But its echo can reach places power never could. So if you ever wonder whether small kindness matters, remember this: one moment of care can heal fear, humble pride, and inspire change far beyond what you can see. And maybe, just maybe, the world becomes a little better because you chose to stay.